Hello my dear students, a very good afternoon to all. This is Vasavi Ma'am from NEET World, your biology educator for Foundation and CBSE. I welcome you all to the most interactive live session. Yes, students, in the previous class we have done with the complete chapter, that is the first chapter, Cell, the fundamental unit of life. As I have said you all that chapter is going to include maximum 25 to 30% of the weightage, my dear students. Yes, and coming towards that particular chapter only, we have already discussed the case based questions. We have done with the top most important case based questions. That session is there separately in our YouTube channel NEET World. You can go through it and you can get complete idea about that, how case study questions are going to be asked from that first chapter, that is Cell, the fundamental unit of life. So, coming towards the today's particular session, today we are going to start another most interesting chapter, that is tissues. So, this is second chapter from your 9th CBSE biology syllabus. Yes, and this chapter is also going to include 25 to 30% of the weightage. That first chapter is going to cover almost, it is the highest weightage chapter both for CBSE as well as for the foundation. And next, coming towards the animal tissues, yes, coming towards the second chapter, tissues. Yes, chapter 2, that is tissues. So, in this particular chapter tissues, you need to focus mostly on the plant tissues as well as animal tissues, my dear students. Okay. So, not only studying only about the plant tissues, as well as you need to study clearly along with the diagrams, its functions, locations, everything with regarding to the animal tissues as well as plant tissues. So, this chapter is also going to include minimum, that is nothing but 20 to 30% of weightage. It is also one of the second most highest important chapter when we considered it along with the weightage. Yes. So, now coming towards the animal tissues, as you already know that how the tissues and organs are going to be formed. We have discussed it clearly in the first chapter itself. Yes, coming towards the tissues. So, now students, the group of cells which are similar in structure and which are similar in function are going to be grouped together, and then next they are going to form a tissues. So, here simply tissues are just the aggregates of the cells. When the group of cells, we are saying as group of cells, imagine this as a number of cells which are aggregated together, and all these cells are same in structure and all the cells are similar in function. So, when the cells are similar in structure and function, they are going to be aggregated together and they are going to form the tissues. So, as you already know that again the tissues are going to aggregate, group of tissues are going to be coordinate together, and then next they are going to form different types of organs, and then next organ systems, and then next complete individual it is going to form, that is called as organism. This all you know. Yes. So, now coming towards here, yes, we will just quickly look into the NCERT definition. This is very most important. Yes, tissues are group of similar cells that perform, or they are going to help to perform a common function, and all these cells which are similar in structure and function, they all are going to have the common origin. So, now we will discuss in detail about this particular chapter, and the next we will discuss in elaboratively about different types of tissues. So, generally we are going to have, you need to study generally 4 different types of animal tissues. Yes, first one is epithelial tissue, and next nervous tissue, next muscle tissue, and the next connective tissue. Yes, so epithelial tissue is also called as protective tissue, or else it is also called as covering tissue. And then next, if you look into the nervous tissue is the most important and specialized tissue, where that special tissue is going to receive the stimulus, and then next it is going to transmit the messages. So, here we need to study about the neurons. These are also called as the functional units of the nerves. These are called as functional units of the nervous system. And next, muscle tissue. It is also a very important tissue which is meant for strength. Okay, the muscle tissue is going to provide strength and flexibility to your body. And next, coming towards the connective tissue, here in this connective tissue, the particular tissue is going to connect, or else here this tissue is going to connect and it is going to bind with other types of tissues and organs. So, here it is simply nothing but it is a tissue which is going to connect and which is going to bind with some other organs and some other different types of tissue. Just simply it is connective in function, it is just simply involved in binding the organs and some different types of tissues together. So, these all are the 4 different types of tissues we are going to study in today's particular session. Yes. Now, firstly we are going to focus mostly on the epithelial tissues, its classification, its location as well as along with its functions and some important diagrams. So, students, I just suggest you that whenever you are going to study the chapter tissues, first you need to understand its particular location. When the location is going to become easy, then you can easily learn the functions of that particular tissue. Yes, how it is going to be worked out, we are going to look into this now. Yes. See, first one is the epithelial tissue. So, generally the epithelial tissue is actually protective in function, it is also called as covering tissue. Why we are calling it as covering tissue means this tissue is going to cover the body, this tissue is going to cover some important organs externally as well as internally. So, if you look here, it is the outer protective covering. Why? Okay, it is called as the outer protective covering. Not only outer protective covering, it is also going to line the cavities, it is also going to line the organs, internal organs as well as it is also going to line externally as well as internally. Yes, it lines the inside of all the cavities such as mouth and the next throat, stomach, intestine, windpipe and the next lungs. These all are the different types of organs where you can observe the simple type, that is nothing but these all organs are going to be covered with the tissue called as epithelial tissue. And epithelial cells are tightly packed with no intercellular spaces. So, first just look into this diagram. In the epithelial tissue, generally in tissues all the cells are going to be embedded on the basement membrane. Okay, there will be a base. Okay, on the basement membrane itself all the cells are going to be arranged closely together with no intercellular space. It means just look here. Okay. So, please try to make the notes as it is also very important chapter, it is the second highest weightage chapter I can say, and from this chapter we can expect mostly 6 to 7 marks. 6 to 7 marks damn sure you can expect from this particular chapter, and in this 6 to 7 marks itself 2 questions are going to be appeared in the section A itself. Okay. Yes. So, this is the basement membrane. Okay. I will draw with some different colors, by that it gets clarity on this particular thing, children. Yes. So, the red colored structure whatever I am drawing, it is the basement membrane, and below the basement membrane there is another different tissue that is called as connective tissue, this yellow colored structure. Yes, this will be the connective tissue, and above that connective tissue there is a basement membrane. So, on this basement membrane only we are going to find all these types of cells. Okay, all these types of cells in the sense all the cells are going to aggregate and they are going to form tissue. Which type of tissue, students? Epithelial tissue. Yes. These blue colored structures whatever I am drawing, these all are cells which are similar in structure and function, hence it is called as a tissue. Yes. So, this red colored line is called as, that is it acts like a barrier. Okay. So, it is going to be present on that, all the cells are going to be embedded, and here this yellow colored structure component whatever you can see, that is called as connective tissue. We are going to learn about this also, and each cell is going to contain a single nucleus which is present centrally located single nucleus is going to be present in each type of cells. So, now this is called as epithelial tissue. If you observe properly, here we cannot find any intercellular spaces, it means there is no gaps, there is no space in between the two cells, and all the cells are interconnected continuously without the intercellular spaces with the presence of single nucleus which is located in the center of the cell, and all the cells will lie on the basement membrane. Remember my students, basement membrane is the most characteristic feature of the tissues, because on that only all the cells arrangement is going to be taken place. Yes. And next this is called as connective tissue. Why we are calling it as connective tissue means that basement membrane is not going to supply oxygen, or else it is not going to supply any type of blood nutrients to the tissue. So, from where this tissue is going to get the nutrients and everything? So, the answer will be the connective tissue. Okay. Below the basement membrane we have the connective tissue. Just imagine this is as a basement membrane and below here we have the connective tissue. So, on this basement membrane if you are arranging all the cells, this basement membrane is not going to provide enough nutrients and it is not going to provide enough oxygen to the tissues. So, at that time this connective tissue which is located below the basement membrane, from here we can transport all the nutrients and oxygen which is essential for this particular tissue. Clear with the basic idea about the epithelial tissue and its arrangement? Yes. Where we can find, see please always focus on the locations of the tissue. See we can find this epithelial tissue in mouth and the next throat and next lining of the esophagus. Lining of the esophagus in the sense, see there is a difference in between the covering and lining. Suppose if this is an esophagus and then next it is the stomach. Just imagine, yes, this epithelial tissue is going to line the esophagus externally, okay, and then next internally, and next it is also going to cover the stomach. Entire the stomach is also going to be protected and covered with this tissue, okay, which will cover internally as well as externally. Hence, we are calling it as the protective tissue or covering tissue. Yes, this is a diagram of this particular epithelial tissue, how it actually looks like. So, based on the arrangement of cells, that is nothing but based on the arrangement of layers. See, always the epithelial tissues may not always be in a single layer, sometimes they are going to be arranged in multiple layers. So, based on that arrangement only we have classified the tissues into two types. One will be the simple epithelial tissue. Simple epithelium in the sense here only single layer of cells are going to be present, and next one is the compound epithelium. Okay. This compound epithelium is also important. When it comes to this particular compound epithelium, here you need to focus on just functions, children. Okay. No need to remember the diagram, and functions are going to be most important. Okay. Yes. So, in the compound epithelium, instead of arranging in a single layer, here we can find multiple layer of arrangement. So, based on arrangement, two types, simple epithelium and compound epithelium. Yes, this is about the basic idea of the epithelial tissue. Yes, here this is going to perform all these types of functions. We will look into it clearly in the next upcoming slide. Like epithelium tissue, it may perform the exchange of gases, it may be involved in the secretion, sometimes it may also be involved in filtration, absorption. These all are the functions, but each function is especially included in particular type of tissue. Not all the tissues are going to perform all the functions, only some tissues are involved in performing special functions which are required to that. Yes. Yes, now we will look into the types of epithelial tissues. Types of epithelial tissues. Yes. Yes, coming towards the types, generally we have 6 different types of epithelial tissues. So, first one is the simple squamous epithelium, and next one simple columnar epithelium. So, remember my students, by looking into the diagrams the answer becomes easy for you all. So, I request all of you to just note down these diagrams and please always try to remember its location first. So, when you can remember the location, then easily you can identify its function. Yes, and next one is the cuboidal epithelium. Yes, simple cuboidal epithelium, and next ciliated epithelium. Yes, this is the fourth type, ciliated epithelium, and next one is the stratified epithelium, and this will be the glandular epithelium. These 6 are most important. These 6 are the classifications of the epithelial tissues. So, now first we will look into the simple squamous epithelium. See, in the simple squamous epithelial tissue, all the cells are going to be present in single layer. Cells are arranged only in the single layer without any intercellular spaces, and all the cells are present on the basement membrane with the centrally located nucleus. These three are the most important points you all have to remember. See, this is a basement membrane, and next I am drawing the tissues which are beneath this we have the connective tissue and centrally located nucleus. So, the specialty of the simple squamous epithelial tissue is, as I said, that only single layer of cells are going to be present, but it actually looks like a tiles which are present on the floor. Clear? In our daily life, when we look into our home, in our home also tiles are going to be present, right? So, this actually looks like a single tile which is present on the floor. Yes, see, like this. And each cell will acquire only one nucleus. This is just the simple arrangement of this tissue. Now, we will look into the location of this tissue. So, where this actually simple squamous is present? See, this is present in the blood vessels. We can find this squamous epithelium in the blood vessels. Here it is a diagram of the blood vessel. Now, yes. So, this entire blood vessels are going to be covered internally and externally by the help of simple squamous epithelium. Why only single layer of cells, single layer arrangement of the cells are present in this particular blood vessel? Because it is involved in exchange of, yes, to transport the oxygen and everything from this vessel, hence it is arranged only by the help of simple squamous epithelium. Yes. So, entirely it is going to cover with only single layer of cells. This is one location. And next, if you look into the another function, yes, it is also present in the alveoli of lungs. Inside the lungs also, which type of tissue we can find? Only simple squamous epithelium. So, inside the lungs, this simple squamous epithelium is going to perform the functions like exchange of gases. Exchange of gases like O2 and CO2. This is going to be performed by the lungs, that is only due to the presence of the simple arrangement of the tissue. And next, it is also found in the nephrons of kidneys. So, the nephrons are the structural and functional units of the kidneys. Yes, okay, they are involved in the filtration of the urine, and inside the kidneys we can find the type of tissue called as simple squamous epithelium tissue. Yes, already the diagram is displayed here, you can see clearly. See, these are the nephrons which are tubular in structure, and all these are going to be covered entirely by the simple squamous epithelium. So, now we will look into the functions. So, I said that when the location you can understand, then easily you can understand about these functions also. I said that nephrons are the structural and functional units of the kidneys. What actually the kidneys are going to perform? They are going to perform the filtration. They are involved in the filtration of the urine, right. So, now these nephrons are also going to be involved in the filtration of the urine. So, now in the functions we can write, it is also involved in the excretion, it is involved in the filtration, and next it is also involved in the exchange of gases which is going to take place in these lungs. And next, it also helps in the exchange of gases. Next, it provides the protection to the underlying parts against the mechanical injury and entry of the germs. As the tissue itself is called as protective and covering tissue, it is not going to allow any pathogens or else any small minute microorganisms into our body. It is going to act like a barrier which is going to prevent the entry of microorganisms. Yes, clear with the first type of tissue? It is very simple and easy to understand. So, please try to look into these diagrams along with two most important functions, that will be 100% enough. Yes, and next one is the columnar epithelium. As the name itself suggests that columnar epithelium, in the sense all the cells are going to be appeared like building blocks, or else they are going to be appeared like column like structures. See, these are elongated columnar like structures or else some long building blocks like structures. This is called as the columnar epithelium. So, inside the columnar epithelium we cannot find the centrally located nucleus. Sometimes the nucleus may be slightly upwards, or else sometimes it may be located in the center, or else sometimes it may be located towards the periphery. So, the nucleus is not in the center in the columnar epithelium. So, columnar epithelium is simply nothing but the cells in these columnar epithelium tissues are elongated and somewhat tubular in nature, and they give the appearance like some building blocks. Okay, they are going to give the appearance like some block like structures which are going to be present. Yes, again now you have to answer me, what is this light pink colored which is present here? Remember, this is the most important one. Okay, basement membrane. Okay, this question is going to be asked in the NEET level also, and then next it is going to be asked in some competitive exams also like NTSA and everything. So, where all the cells, what is the characteristic feature of the epithelial tissue? That is nothing but basement membrane. Okay. Yes, and this will be the connective tissue. Yes, sorry, connective tissue, CT I am writing here. Yes, and next here, see, look into this definition. Here columnar epithelium are longer and broad and looks like a column. Yes, isn't it or not? And next, coming towards the location, it forms the lining of the stomach. See students, here it is a diagram of the stomach, and inside this stomach only we can find all these columnar like cells. See, all the columnar epithelium cells are going to be arranged in this way in the stomach. It is going to cover internally inside the stomach and with each cell with a prominent nucleus. Yes, and next these are also present in the intestine. These columnar epithelial cells are not always going to be remain as it is. Sometimes they are going to be modified. How they are going to be modified? They are going to be modified like finger-like projections inside the intestine. So, inside the stomach we have the intestines, and that intestines are going to be lined with columnar epithelium. Sometimes they may be modified like finger-like projections called as villi. Okay. So, what is the function of this presence of finger-like projections? They are going to actually increase the surface area, okay, during the process of digestion. They are going to increase the surface area, and only these type we can find in the intestines. Yes. And next we can also find in gallbladder and the next duct, okay, bile ducts. See, this is the gallbladder. It is a pear-shaped organ which is located beneath the liver, students, and next it is also present in the pancreas. It is a leaf-shaped organ, okay. It is present in the gallbladder, and the next this is also present in the bile ducts. Yes. So, what is the function of the bile ducts? They are going to, yes, bile ducts are involved in, they are also be involved in releasing of some fats, okay. They are involved in releasing and storing of some fats, and they are going to release some bile pigments also. Yes. Now, we will look into the functions of the columnar epithelium. Okay. By seeing itself you can understand how they are actually going to perform some most important functions. See, inside the stomach during the digestion process we require the gastric juice. What is that gastric juice called? It is HCl. Okay. In the presence of HCl the food gets digested. So, HCl is releasing in the sense it is involved in the function of secretion. Okay. What it is going to secrete? HCl. Yes, one function is completed. By seeing the location only it became clearly that it is involved in secretion of the gastric juice, that is HCl. Yes, and next it is also, see, every epithelial tissue is going to be involved in, just it is going to act like a barrier, and it is going to prevent the entry of pathogens, and sometimes it is also going to prevent the injuries also. And next, see, absorption and then next secretion. See, digested food is going to be absorbed, okay, digested food is going to be absorbed, and then next after absorption the cells are going to transport the oxygen. Yes, and secretion of many digestive enzymes, okay, different types of digestive enzymes are going to be present like lipases, proteases, okay, these all you are going to study in higher grades. In the 10th standard it becomes crystal clear for all of you children. So, now please just it will be enough for you to remember only its definition and next location, any 2 or 3 most important locations. If you know the diagram then easily you can also draw the diagram to impress the examiners. Yes, and next here comes, here it is the functions. So, whatever the organs, whatever the things you are writing in this particular location, regarding this only you can write the functions also to make easy. Yes. And next one we are going to move towards the third type of tissue, that is the cuboidal epithelium. As the name itself suggests that the cells present here are cube-like structures. Clear? Yes. These cells are long, broad and appears like a cube. In the columnar epithelium, these cells are only going to be present as elongated, but here when we look into this particular diagram, here the cells are arranged small and they are cube-like arrangement. Okay, we can find the cube-like arrangement, hence that is the reason it is called as the cuboidal epithelium with the centrally located nucleus. See, inside these also, inside each and every cell we can find the cytoplasm. This is a clear diagram along with the labelings. I request you all to note down these points. Yes. And next this will be the basement membrane. Yes. And next this is the connective tissue, as I already said you, and next this will be the nucleus. Yes, once while starting writing the answer, if you just label these diagrams and if you write the answer, it will be clear. Yes. Now coming towards the location of the cuboidal epithelium, it lines the small salivary ducts. What are ducts, my dear students? Ducts are the small tubular structures from which the secretions are going to be released out. Okay, this we can find in the salivary ducts, and next inside the pancreatic ducts also, see here. Okay, here we can find the cuboidal epithelium and next nephrons of the kidney, and next thyroid glands, and then next ovaries. This is a thyroid gland. Inside this thyroid gland also we can find the type of tissue called cuboidal epithelium. Okay, just try to remember these diagrams. Yes, now coming towards the functions. So always first function will be protection only, and next it is going to be absorption, and next one secretion. So what it is going to secrete? It is present in the thyroid gland, right? So thyroid gland is going to secrete the hormones called T3 and T4. These are some extra additional points which you can add. Okay, these are apart from your NCERT textbook, but these are very most important. T3 and T4, triiodothyronine and tetraiodothyronine. No need to remember the names, just if you remember T3 and T4, it will be enough. Yes, and these T3 and T4 together called as thyroid hormones. Clear? Yes. And next, these are also involved in the secretion because they are also present in the nephrons of the kidney. They are also going to secrete the waste material in the form of urine. So these four are the most important functions you need to remember. Just if you remember this thyroid gland, this diagram, and the next one, this pancreas, it will be enough. Okay? Yes. And next we will learn about the ciliated epithelium. Yes. See students, this is how actually the ciliated epithelium looks like. So here also the cells are very elongated and they are very long in nature, and above these cells, above this particular tissue, we can find some projections. See here. There are some hair-like projections which are present on these cells. Okay, these are not actually something parts which are going to be embedded on the top of the cells, but these are actually the simple cytoplasmic extensions of this cell. See, this will be the cytoplasm, and this is going to modify like a finger-like projections. This is called as cilia because they are going to appear like some hair-like structures. That is the reason we are calling it as the ciliated epithelium. Okay, and these are not some separate structures, these are actually the extensions of the cytoplasm, and here we can find the nucleus which is located randomly, okay, not center in the cell. Sometimes it may be present at the bottom, sometimes at the top, or else sometimes in between the periphery, or else anywhere else. Okay, just you have to remember ciliated epithelium, okay, these structures. Okay, yes, now we will see its location. Yes, definition first. Okay, ciliated, or this is just the modification of the columnar epithelium. First, previously how we saw that columnar epithelium cells, these are elongated with nucleus. So in the second stage, these columnar cells only are going to be modified like ciliated epithelium. Clear with the definition? Yes. And next, cilia arising from the outer surface of the cells. See, can you see here? These are not going to arise from the bottom or else from the side. They are just going to arise from the top of the cell. See, they are going to arise from the top of the cell. Yes, and next if we look into the location, they are going to present in the windpipe. What is windpipe? It is a trachea. Yes, yes. So inside the trachea we can find this ciliated epithelium. Okay, why we can find this cilia in the trachea? So these cilia are some minute hair-like structures. They are going to secrete some mucus. It means it is also involved in secretion. Secretion is one of the most important function. So what it is going to secrete, students? It is going to secrete the mucus, okay, and it is going to stop the pathogens, or else it is going to stop the dust particles, okay, by acting like a barrier. And next these are also going to present in kidney tubules, and the next ovarian follicles. In the oviducts also we can find this hair-like structures called as cilia. So in the oviducts they are involved in function called as, they are always going to push the sperm towards the reaching the egg, okay. They are going to push the sperm, they are going to push the egg towards the uterine. So inside the trachea they are going to release the mucus, and they are going to stop the entry of the dust particles. Yes, and next if we look into the functions, these are involved in, yes, in the movement of mucus, and the next fluid flow. Yes, already we have discussed it. It is actually involved in secretion of the mucus, and next the oviduct is involved in just pushing the egg, okay, just pushing the zygote towards the attachment of the uterus. These are all the functions of the ciliated epithelium, okay. So just you make the column, okay, you just make simple column. On the one side you just write the name of the tissue, and next you write its location, and next you write its function. By that it becomes easy to all of you to remember the chapter tissues. Yes. And next one, ciliated epithelium, and next fifth type of tissue is glandular epithelium. See, glandular epithelium, okay. So here it consists of columnar cells which are modified to secrete the chemicals, okay. What are the glandular cells? Which are going to release some chemical substances, okay. Yes. So here these are the columnar cells. The columnar cells are going to be modified, and they are going to create a tube-like structure. See, all these are the columnar cells. So later they are going to get modified, and they are going to be projected inwards. Due to this, it is going to create a tube-like structure called as duct. Clear? And from this duct, see, it is going to be modified as glandular epithelium, and the secretions from here are going to be released from the duct. So it is called as the glandular epithelium. Yes. And next, coming towards the location, found in many parts of the body like stomach, and the next lungs, and next mammary glands, okay, and this reproductive tract, okay, it is not going to be come under the glandular epithelium, okay. Just please note down only these 4 points. Yes, mammary glands are involved in the secretion of milk, right? Yes, so that is also one type of a gland, okay. Mammary gland is a specialized gland which is just involved in the secretion of the milk, okay. And next, in the stomach it is going to secrete some enzymes, and the next gastric juice, HCl and enzymes, okay. Yes, these are the functions. Secretions like sweat, saliva, and the next breast, okay, breast milk, and next it's some digestive enzymes, okay. Glandular epithelium, here actually the columnar cells are only going to be modified as the glandular epithelium, and all the cells are going to be projected inwards, and they are going to secrete the secretions from this duct, okay, from the tube-like structure called as the duct, okay. It is going to be present in these mammary glands, and next and stomach, okay. In the stomach it is going to release some enzymes, hence it is secretory in function in the stomach, and next it is going to secrete the milk, okay, from the breast, hence it is also called, as the glandular epithelium. Yes, next one is the stratified epithelium. So in the stratified epithelium we cannot observe only single layer of the cells, okay. Here many layers are going to be present. It is a multi-layered tissue where different types of tissues, different types of cells are going to be arranged in many layers like this. Okay. As all these cells are going to be, as it is going to be multi-layered, as the cells are going to be on the top, it is going to become keratinized. Okay. Here then it is going to form the deposition and it is going to called as the keratinized cells. Okay, keratinized cells. It means these are called as the dead cells. So, when it reaches to the top, there will be no supply of nutrients, and then next there will be no supply of the oxygen. And for this is going to be the basement membrane. Can you see? For the stratified epithelium, here we can find this basement membrane, and on the basement membrane, instead of presence of only single layer or double layer, it is going to form the multi-layer arrangement of the cells. That is the reason we are calling it as a compound epithelium or stratified epithelium. Yes, and this will be the connective tissue. As all the cells are going to be arranged one above the other, here it is going to be called as the keratinized, or else it is called as the dead cells, because there will be no supply of the oxygen and the next no supplement of the nutrients. And when this when this tissue is going to be said as a keratinized, at that time it is going to act like a waterproof tissue. Waterproof tissue in the sense, for these examples we can take hair and the next skin, nails. It means it is going to act like a wear and tear. Okay, it is going to perform the functions for wear and tear. It means it is going to be protective in some physical and chemical changes, and it is going to be called as a waterproof tissue. It is going to form waterproof body parts like skin and the next nails and next hairs. Okay. See, you can see here, such as epidermis of the skin, next buccal cavity, esophagus, urinary tract and pharynx. All these are said to be as the stratified epithelial tissues. In all these parts we can find the stratified epithelium as it is going to act like a waterproof material. Okay. Yes. And stratified epithelial tissues are protective and can withstand the abrasion. Abrasion in the sense, any mechanical injury when it is going to occur, it can withstand at that particular situation. And next, the higher the number of layers, the more the protection of the stratified epithelium. So, when these layers, when the arrangement of these multi layers is more in number, then it is going to act like a more protective function, more protective type of function. Clear with all the concepts tissues, clear with all the different types of tissues, my dear students. So, in the animal tissues, we have just completed the first type of tissue, that is called as the epithelial tissue. In the epithelial tissue, we have covered all the tissues like simple squamous, cuboidal, columnar epithelium, and next glandular epithelium, ciliated epithelium, and next one is the last one, that is the stratified or stratified or else compound epithelium. So, it is very important and it is mandatory to learn all the types of tissues along with its diagrams, its structures and the next its location also. Okay. So, as I said, all of you to just make a note, like just you make the column where on the one side you just include the type of tissue, and next you make the column its location, and next last column you just name it as its functions. By that it becomes easy to all of you to remember the animal tissues as well as plant tissues. So, in the next upcoming live session, we are going to discuss about the connective tissues. That is also a very most interesting topic. So, I request each and every student to join in the next upcoming live session. Thank you.